I want to welcome everybody to our August student series event through NASW. If you haven't been on one of these before, welcome. My name is Dwayne Brejak. I'm the executive director for the Michigan chapter of NASW, and I've been the kind of facilitator for these for the last couple of years. And we are excited to have our friends from Savi back to give us an update of what's going on in the world of student loans and student debt. We know many of you are probably students or recent graduates on here, so we appreciate you you're coming to ask your questions. We will have a couple of times tonight to ask questions, a section about midway through, and then at the end, please feel free to drop any questions you have into the chat or raise your hand when we get to that period. I also want to drop the information for our full student series. We are excited to have September's program also available to register if you haven't seen, and that's going to be on the role of social work and mutual aid, social work as political resistance. For our September 18th program, it's going to be a really fabulous conversation, so we hope you all will join us for that. But with that, I'm very excited to turn the floor over to our Savi guest, Khadija Westmoreland, who's going to give us a run through of what's going on, what are our recent changes to income-driven repayment plans and public student loan forgiveness, and how you all can learn about some of the tools that are available through Savi. So Khadija, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. Let me go ahead and share my screen really quick. So if you would like to take a moment to create your Savi account so you can follow along during the presentation, you can. You can scan the QR code on your screen with your phone camera, or you can go to the custom link at the bottom, nasw.bysavi.com. And I'm going to post that again later in the presentation for your convenience. After introductions, we're going to go over some student loan basics, loan types, PSLF, Public Service Loan Forgiveness, which is the primary program we help users to qualify for, as well as income-driven repayment plans and what they are, some very important policy updates that affect all borrowers, and how you can get started with Savi. Again, my name is Khadija. I'm a customer support associate here at Savi. It's a pleasure to have you here, and I'm looking forward to assisting you with understanding your student loans a little bit more and talking to you about how Savi can make managing those loans even easier. If you are new to Savi, the first thing we'd like you to know about us is that you are our top priority. We are not a loan servicer. We're not affiliated with or connected to any government entities. We're here to help you find forgiveness options. And even though we want to help you find those savings, we also want to make sure that we're putting you first and doing everything we can to support you, and that these loans are not a burden on you. We've also got insider information that helps us to help you. Our team has over 2 decades of expertise, and many of us are also student loan borrowers ourselves. I have student loans, so me, as well as others of the Savi team, know firsthand what it's like to have student loans. This information helps us to better serve you. And finally, saving has never been easier than it is with Savi, because we will be able to help you find personalized repayment and forgiveness plans so that you can take advantage of any and all available savings. Now, Savi is your student loan benefit. We're part of your benefits with NASW, and we work by partnering with employers to offer our services. We are your exclusive student loan benefit, and we can help you with any and all things student loans. No concern is too big or too small, and we'll always do anything we can to help you. The great news is that we're also available for your family members. So if you don't have student loans and someone else in your family does, they're also able to access Savi and get help with their situation. It's our goal that by Savi and NASW working together, we can help you find the best outcome for your loans. Now we're going to go over student loan servicers, the types of loans, income-driven repayment plans or IDR plans, and public service loan forgiveness. Now, you might recognize some of these loan servicer names, as some of you may already have loans with them. If you happen to be pursuing public service loan forgiveness, that program is now managed by federal student aid exclusively. Around this time last year, Mohila was exclusively handling PSLF, but that has switched over to federal student aid. So any PSLF paperwork you need to submit will go directly to federal student aid. And if you don't know who your loan servicer is, you can find that through your Savi account or directly on studentaid.gov. So taking a look at the first federal loan type, direct loans. This is the current loan program offered by the U.S. Department of Education. This loan program started in 2010. So if you have loans after that date, you probably already have direct loans. This can also include direct consolidation loans. So if you have loans from before 2010, but you consolidated, you would have a direct consolidation loan. The great thing about having these direct loans is that they are eligible for programs like income-driven repayment plans and public service loan forgiveness. You're actually required to have direct loans in order to enroll. So by having direct loans, you've already met one of the necessary requirements for enrolling. For direct loans, they were FFEL loans. This stands for Federal Family Education Loans, but we call these FFEL loans for short. They're an older type of student loan. So if you have loans from before 2010, you probably have FFEL loans. If you do have FFEL loans, it's important to note that it's not eligible for income-driven repayment plans and public service loan forgiveness in its current state. A FFEL loan would need to be consolidated first before it can qualify. But please note, if you do consolidate your FFEL loan, your payment count is going to reset. So that is important for people who are pursuing PSLF, trying to accumulate 120 payments. So if you consolidate, your payment count will reset. So typically, when we hear the word consolidation, we think of combining multiple loans into one. Technically, this can still be the case, but the primary reason for consolidating here is that it acts as a conversion. Consolidating a FFEL loan will convert it into a direct consolidation loan so that you can be eligible for all programs. So if you have a FFEL loan, you'll need to consolidate it before you can enroll in all repayment plans and programs like PSLF. Our third type of loan, which are PLUS loans, well, there's two different types of PLUS loans available. The first is a Parent PLUS loan. Now, we get a lot of questions about Parent PLUS loans because there are some specific requirements that apply to this type. So if you have Parent PLUS loans, the first thing to know is that a Parent PLUS loan is a loan in the parent's name that was used to pay for the child to go to school. Because it's in the parent's name, this means that everything will be based on the parent's information. Repayment on an income-driven repayment plan will use the parent's income, and forgiveness under programs like PSLF will be based on the parent's employment. There's not currently a way to transfer a Parent PLUS loan to the student. The Department of Education considers it the parent's responsibility. So if you have this Parent PLUS loan, before you can enroll it into income-driven repayment plan forgiveness, you would have to consolidate it into a direct consolidation loan. Doing this will convert it over to direct, making it eligible to enroll. After that, there's only one repayment plan Parent PLUS loans can be paid on, which is the ICR plan. Once you've consolidated and enrolled into the ICR plan, that loan is on track for income-driven repayment plan forgiveness. Now, previously, you had to consolidate in order to qualify for PSLF, but they just changed that this spring. So you can pay your Parent PLUS loans on the 10-year standard plan and have those payments still count towards PSLF. So because of all that extra information of being in the parent's name and using the parent's job information and requiring consolidation, that's why Parent PLUS loans can be a little trickier to work with. The other type of PLUS loan is a Grad PLUS loan, which is thankfully a little more straightforward. Grad PLUS loans were used to pay for your own graduate or professional program. Technically, these are considered direct loans, so they're eligible in their current form and don't need to be consolidated. So those are the federal loans. The big takeaway is the goal is for you to have direct loans. If you have FFEL or Parent PLUS, you can consolidate them, which will convert them into direct, making you eligible for these programs. The final loan type are private loans. These are any non-federal loans made by lenders like banks, credit unions, state agencies, and even schools. Unfortunately, if you do have private loans, they're not eligible for any federal repayment or forgiveness programs. Only federal loans can enroll. So if you have private loans, you won't be able to enroll them in an income-driven repayment plan or receive public service loan forgiveness. Now, many borrowers wonder what type of loans they have and how they can confirm that. You can check what type of loans you have in your Savi account, and I'm going to show you how that works coming up soon. Let's talk about income-driven repayment plans, or IDR plans. This is a category of repayment plan offered by the Department of Education. Within this category, there are 3 different plans that are available. Those are PAY, IBR, and ICR. Each one of these plans has similar names, but they have different eligibility requirements and calculate your payment a little bit differently. You may be eligible for all 3 plans or only eligible for one. No matter what, though, your payment will be based on your income and your family size, which typically results in a lower, more affordable payment. Depending on which plan you're enrolled in, your payment will be somewhere from 10 to 20% of your discretionary income. So when you enroll, the Department of Education looks at your total income. They set aside a portion to cover the cost of living, and the leftover amount is your discretionary income. Your payment under these plans is only based on that discretionary income, keeping it low and affordable. So for example, if you're single, you have no dependents, and your income is about $52K a year, you could expect to see a monthly payment of around $160 by enrolling into an income-driven repayment plan. Because they're designed to be affordable, these are great plans for both borrowers who have a low income or a high loan balance. In many cases, if you do have low income, you can even be approved for a $0 monthly payment. During this time, you would not be required to make payments on your student loans, but they would stay in good standing as if you were making payments. Plus, any month with a $0 payment counts towards forgiveness. When you enroll, you'll also be approved for that payment amount for a 12-month period. So once that time has passed, you'll need to recertify your income so that if your income has changed, your payment can be updated. Many borrowers ask, well, what happens if my income changes during those 12 months? Well, it depends on how your income changes. If your income increases, you do not have to report that early. You can stay locked in at that lower payment amount until your recertification date arrives. At that point, you will recertify, and if your income increased, you may see an increase in your payment. If your income decreases, though, you can recertify early. That way, your payment can be updated and lowered so that you're never paying more than you can afford. One of the benefits of income-driven repayment plans is that they're eligible to have the remaining balance forgiven after 20 to 25 years of payments. If you have Parent Plus loans, keep in mind that those can only be paid on the ICR plan. So by the design of these programs, it forgives the remaining balance, meaning the less you pay, the more you get forgiven. We like to say that you should minimize your monthly payment to maximize forgiveness. Some borrowers get this low payment and think, I'm not going to see my balance go down. How am I going to make any progress? Well, don't worry, because if you have a low payment, that means your balance is going to stay higher, but that gives you more forgiveness down the line. So once you've paid for that amount of time, again, the entire remaining balance, including interest, is completely forgiven. And there is no cap on the amount of forgiveness you can receive. Now let's talk about PSLF, which again is the main program we help borrowers get on track for. In general, the program will forgive your loans after you've worked in public service and made payments for 10 years. After you've done that, whatever remaining balance you owe will be forgiven. But there are some additional requirements that you need to meet. The first, and perhaps most important, is that you need to work at a qualifying employer. This can be a government organization at any level, so federal, state, local, or tribal government. If you don't work at a government organization, you can also work at a nonprofit, 501c3. As long as your employer is one of those 2 types, you can qualify for this program. With that said, you do need to work at least 30 hours a week. PSLF requires that you be a full-time employee, which by their definition is anyone who works 30 hours or more. Even if you're considered part-time by your employer, as long as you're working 30 hours, they'll qualify you for this program. They'll consider you full-time so that you can enroll. If you're below 30 hours, you can still qualify a couple of ways. If you're working at multiple employers, you can show that you work a combined total of 30 hours. If you're adjunct faculty and you're teaching, you can multiply the number of credit hours you teach to get closer to 30. So in general, the number one requirement is to work at a qualifying employer. I'll also say that this program does not require you to consecutively work in 10 years or at the same employer. So if any of you have worked at this employer type in the past, that employment may be able to count as well, so that you can sort of piece together 10 years worth of employment and payments. Requirement number 2, you have to have the correct type of loans in order to enroll. For PSLF, only direct loans are required. Direct loans are the current loans offered by the Department of Education. So if you've recently taken out student loans or taken them out after 2010, you probably already have direct loans. The third requirement is that you need to meet your payment requirements on an income-driven repayment plan. So to recap, there are 3 main requirements to meet: work in public service, have the correct type of loans, and pay on the correct requirements on your payment plan. While meeting all of those requirements, you need to make 120 payments on your loans. That's equal to 10 years worth of payments. Once you've done that, the entire remaining balance is forgiven. So work in public service, have direct loans, and pay on an income-driven repayment plan. To earn progress towards forgiveness and actually get the forgiveness, you need to make 120 payments on your loans that meet all 3 of these requirements. That means that every payment must be made while working in public service, while having direct loans, and while paying on an income-driven plan. So for this program, it's based on a cumulative payment count, not consecutive. That means if you make a payment that doesn't qualify, if you have gaps in your repayment history or you change employers, that's okay. Once you've earned 120 cumulative payments, you'll then qualify for forgiveness on that remaining balance. Because of this, that could mean it could take you longer than 10 years to earn these 120, but at a minimum, you'll need to pay for 10 years before you can qualify for forgiveness. Many borrowers inquire about making extra payments to qualify sooner, and unfortunately, you cannot do that. At a maximum, they will only count 1 payment per month, meaning it's going to be 10 years before you can qualify for forgiveness. So how do you apply for PSLF? You can submit an employment certification form for each of your qualifying employers. Your employer will then sign the form to verify your employment, and then that form will be submitted to federal student aid. They'll count up all of your payments you made at that employer and then add them to your total. You'll submit 1 form for each of your employers. After you submit your initial ECFs, PSLF application and ECF we use those terms interchangeably, so they're the same form. So after you submit your first one to get your credit for your payments, you'll submit 1 form every 12 months until you reach 120 payments. Next, we are going to go over some very important policy updates that affect all borrowers. Now, for those of you on the SAVE plan is still on hold due to a federally issued court injunction that was initiated around this time last year. Borrowers already enrolled in SAVE were automatically placed into a general forbearance and will remain there until the litigation is concluded. Under this forbearance, you do not have to make your monthly payments on your student loans. On July 9th, ED announced that interest will start to accrue August 1st. So if you're accruing interest, that's nothing we can do about that. The only way that you can opt out of that is to either enroll or switch into a different income-driven repayment plan, either the pay plan, ICR plan, or IBR plan. You can resume making your qualifying monthly payments for PSLF because the general forbearance, that time spent in forbearance does not count towards PSLF at all. You can possibly buy back months of the PSLF credit for the time spent you save in the forbearance by submitting a buyback request via FSA, but you must already have 120 months of certified PSLF employment to be eligible for that. Now, other IDR plans, the pay plan, ICR plan, and IBR plan are currently available for eligible borrowers to enroll. but we are seeing some lengthy delays. I think before it was 8 to 12 weeks before borrowers received notice from their loan servicer that their application was being processed. Now it's closer to 15 weeks. The Department of Education only just recently began processing IDR applications in May after having been paused since the start of 2025. So if you have submitted an IDR application or any application to FSA at the beginning of the year and you haven't heard back, that's likely why. Only 3.84% of all IDR applications submitted have been processed this year, with millions of applications still backlogged. And your servicer may place you into a 60-day processing forbearance once they confirm receipt of your application to allow time to process your application. And that at that time, no payment is due. Now, in January of this year, late and missed payment penalties were restored after having been paused for 5+ years. Even one missed payment can be reported to credit bureaus. Delinquency occurs after 3 consecutive missed payments, and default occurs after 9 consecutive missed payments. Defaulted loans trigger collections activity and loss of federal loan benefits. Collections on defaulted student loans resumed in May of this year, and borrowers in default are subject to involuntary collection activities, including wage garnishment, tax refund withholding. They initiated Social Security withholding, but ED formally stopped that as of June 3rd. Millions of Americans are experiencing severe financial turmoil as a result of missed payments and negative credit reporting since collections resumed in May. 38% of borrowers in repayment are in good standing. 3.2 million borrowers saw their credit scores drop by more than 100 points after their student loans were reported in delinquent status. Another 5.4 million are on the brink of delinquency and will face the same consequences once their loan status is reported next month. Over 5 million borrowers are currently in default, but ED estimates this will double to 10 million. 2 million borrowers right now are actively experiencing wage garnishment. If you're not sure where you stand, you can see the current status of your student loans on your studentaid.gov account or by calling your loan servicer. If you know you've fallen behind and your account's past due, the consequences can be swift and severe. You can explore your IDR options and submit your forms to enroll directly through your Savi account. Enrolling in an income-driven plan can possibly lower your monthly payments and help you to return to or stay in good standing. Savi members can access additional help and one-on-one support from our student loan experts. On July 4th, President Trump signed into law the OBBB legislation that will make the most significant changes to federal student loan programs in decades and impact nearly every current and future student loan borrower. Some of the major reforms taking effect next year include removing existing IDR plans and replacing them with the new Repayment Assistance Program. Now, the SAY plan isn't coming back. The pay plan and ICR plan will disappear, but the IBR plan will still be around. So it'll just be the IBR plan and the Repayment Assistance Program. Placing yearly and lifetime caps on the total amount a student can borrow and eliminating the Grad Plus loan program entirely. Also, ending economic hardship and unemployment deferments and limiting how much or how often borrowers can use discretionary forbearance. These changes aren't scheduled to take effect until July 1st of 2026, so borrowers have time to update their repayment plans in preparation for this transition. And of course, Savi members will be kept in the loop as we get new information. Separately, the Trump administration is implementing Executive Order 14235, directing ED to draft new rules aimed at excluding organizations the administration defines as having a quote-unquote substantial illegal purpose. On August 15th, ED released proposed rules that could bar certain nonprofits and public employers from PSLF eligibility in 2026. The rules would not strip existing PSLF participants of past qualifying payments. However, future payments would stop counting if an employer is disqualified under the new criteria. The process for challenging a determination remains undefined at this time. Importantly, these changes are still proposals not yet finalized, and if enacted, they would not take effect until July 1st, 2026. However, major legal challenges are likely to arise if the rules are published in their current form. And we encourage you to submit any and all PSLF employment certification forms before the new rules could take effect. You can submit an ECF from your Savi account with an active Essential or Pro membership. All right. I'm gonna take a quick breather and see if there are any questions so far.
Yeah, this is a good moment for everyone to take a deep breath. I know that was a lot of information
Yeah.
and some really not great information. Well, great
Mm-hmm.
information, just not really positive information in a lot of ways. I have a couple questions that have come to me directly in the chat, and then I'll go to Micah with the hand raise. So first question is, do you have a reason or an answer of why there are so many different loan borrowers at the federal government at this point? Seems like they keep changing, and so when folks are trying to track where their loans currently are situated, it can be very challenging.
When you say why there are so many loan borrowers, what do you mean?
Like the aid vent and all of those different
Oh yes, the servicers where the loans are. That's a great question, and I don't have an answer to that. I can find that out for you.
I can just say
Yeah.
personally, since I graduated in 2012, I think my borrower has changed 3 times in that,
Yeah.
and it was several more while I was in school as well.
Oh my gosh.
The next question that came through is just can you reiterate which sort of organizations qualify generally for the current loan forgiveness programs? It said 501c3.
Yes, nonprofits and any employer that's considered public service. What I've seen, that's usually hospitals, mental health facilities, most schools, I believe. There's a PSLF help tool that people use where you can put in your employer information to see if you have a qualifying employer. I can place that link in the chat.
Excellent, perfect.
Yeah.
And in my experience, just as folks are applying for jobs or looking at different jobs across the social work continuum, that might be a question to ask during your interview process if it is something that's really important to you, because you may not want to start in a position if the organization doesn't qualify for the loan forgiveness program. So just a consideration as folks are entering the profession. Okay, great. So Micah, we'll go ahead and go to your hand next. You still have a question? I might have answered it. I see the hand went down. All right. If you still have a question, Michael, please feel free to.
I'm sorry. I was trying to come off mute. I'm good payments counted, and I believe that I have worked the 10 years at organizations that were eligible, and I just haven't heard back. I think I submitted the payback request or audit. Buyback is what I'm trying to say. The buyback audit back in like April, and I'm just curious if you have any insight to how long those take.
Okay, I think the first part of your question was cut off. You were asking how long it should take for you to hear back from FSA regarding your buyback application. Is that correct?
Yes.
That's a great question. We're seeing a lot of delays with any and all applications that are submitted to FSA, and there is no telling. I'm telling people at a minimum 15 weeks, but it may even be longer, since there are a lot of people that were messed up by this save forbearance. So a lot, like millions of people apply for the buyback. And the last I heard, there was a really small percentage of those applications that had been processed. So unfortunately, I don't have a number for you, but be prepared to wait a long time.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
Kat has a similar comment in the chat, and looks like been waiting for a buyback response since February. So fortunately, Kat, gotta wait. Yeah. Okay, great. So next question that I see in the chat is my loans are currently in deferment because I'm still in school. What steps or should I be taking steps now if I currently work for a qualifying organization?
I would say to just wait until you're maybe because your loans are in deferment or they're considered an in-school status. You can't do anything with them until you are in repayment status. And then you can initiate applying possibly for an income-driven plan or PSLF because FSA is going to look at everything. Do you work for a qualifying employer and are you on an income-driven repayment plan? So once you graduate, you're going to go through a 6-month grace period, I believe, before your loans are put in repayment status. So you want to wait until you're close, at least close to reaching that 6-month, until that 6 months is close to being up before you start applying. So you're one of the lucky ones. You don't have to do anything right now.
Excellent. Thank you for that.
Mhm.
See a couple of questions about pricing. I'm gonna. It looks like Michael already beat me to it, but I'll drop it into the chat just in case anybody wants to see it. There is a free plan that all NASW members have access to, and then depending on how much individualized service you may need, there are additional options as well. But kind of related to that, Khadijah, how do families members get access to Savi, and would they also qualify for the member discount, or would they just go through a regular plan?
Yeah, so family members would not get the NASW discount, but they can start off with DIY. And if you just want to reach out to one of us to get advice on your family members' loans, and they can benefit from you having the membership. They just wouldn't have the essential, we wouldn't be able to do the one-on-one support with them, but we could just do it with you and just help advise you so they can benefit from your membership.
Excellent, great. And then there are two similar questions, and then I see Daniel's hand. So just to verify, this is from Vivian and Malika. If you are working for a qualifying employer and your income plan was set to 0, do those months still count towards forgiveness?
Yes. Yes. And I know it seems crazy, like you're not making any progress toward getting the balance down. It's just sitting there. But fortunately, with an income-driven repayment plan, if your income is low enough to get a $0 monthly payment, they count it as a payment. And it still counts towards forgiveness if you're pursuing either IDR forgiveness or PSLF.
Yeah, absolutely. And we want many of those 0 payments towards y'all as possible. Daniel, please go ahead.
Hi, my question is in regards to kind of in relation to one of the previous inquiries. I have loans currently that I'm paying back, and I just recently started up school again, so I have new loans that I just took out. So right now I'm two parts. I'm paying loans back that are qualifying, and I'm working at a qualifying employer right now, um, making payments on those loans that are going towards PSLF. But I also have the loan that I just took out for um, my current year of enrollment in school that are on in school deferment. Is there uh, is there any advantage at this point as far as just making my payments count or the time and payments count towards PSLF? Is there any advantage to changing my loan for the current term to be instated like I'm making payments right now? Does that make sense?
I'm not sure I'm following you. You want to see if you can opt out of deferment so you can start making payments so they can start counting towards PSLF?
Yes. Yes.
Is there an advantage to that? I've never been asked that before. I've never heard of anyone doing that. Most people want to put off paying those loans as soon as long as possible. I personally wouldn't consider that. Um, yeah, that's a really good question. Oh, I'm hearing some background noise. Yeah, not that I have heard. It's really just a matter of personal preference. But since let me talk this out. So, because otherwise you'd have to wait, right? I mean, I can understand why you would want to do that. I don't think
I guess my
there's,
inquiry
I
is
don't think it's a bad thing.
because I'm already making payments on my pre-existing loans
Hmm.
and I want this time to count towards my PSLF. I'm only like a year and a half removed from the 10 qualifying years. Um,
Yeah.
would it be
I see what you
advantageous at this
mean.
point? Yeah.
I see what you mean. Yes. Yes. So the short answer to your question is yes, I'm following you now. Definitely. You want to get those qualified as soon as possible instead of waiting. I see what you mean.
Yeah. Great. Thank you. Thank you for that.
You're
Good
so
question.
welcome.
One more question through the chat, and then I see a couple of hands. I'm going to go do the online one first, and then to Richard, Karen, and Julie. Question from Veronica: do you have to stay enrolled with Savi throughout the time the loans are forgiven, or is there a time range for enrollment in your all's program?
You can cancel your membership at any time. You don't necessarily have to keep your membership the whole time you have loans. It's just a matter of how long you feel like you need support from us. If your loans are close to being forgiven, you can cancel. It's really up to you, but there's no requirement of the duration of your membership.
Excellent. Thank you.
You're
All right, and then for the hands, we'll start with Richard and then Karen.
Hi, Khadijah. Thanks for doing this.
You're welcome.
My question is, if I am working at a nonprofit 501c3 as a board member, so maybe it's unpaid even, does that count towards loan forgiveness, PLSF work? And if not, is it like, does it need to be a W-2 type of thing?
They don't verify that way. There's all you need is for that employer to sign off on your PSLF form. That's it.
Does it need to be like someone else, or if I'm the chief executive?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
It's just a better look, if you know what I mean.
Yes, I do.
Mm-hmm.
And just to reiterate what Khadijah said earlier, it has to be 30 hours a week. So depending on volunteer, I think just making sure that you're in that time frame.
Right. Exactly.
Excellent. Okay, Karen, and then Julie.
Oh, okay. I just have a question about the consistency of, like, I am in the public service loan program still, but I'm not working for an agency I'm not working for a public agency anymore. I'm in the field of social work. So I don't know if that counts at all, or what I should
Right.
should I quit that job and go and work for a public agency so that it does count?
Well, so the only way to find out for sure if it counts is you can use the PSLF help tool and just plug in your duration there. And I think it also asks for the EIN for that place.
Yeah.
And to see if it counts. And if it is not recognized by FSA as a PSLF certified employer, then a lot of people do that. They switch jobs, or
Okay.
because because PSLF is based on a cumulative payment count, your past qualifying payments can count. And if you have a break for a while where you're not working for a PSLF qualified employer and then for a while, and then you switch jobs to one that does qualify, then you can start accumulating those PSLF credits again.
Thank you.
You're
I
welcome.
also dropped into the chat for everyone the link to the studentaid.gov site that has the qualifying employment section. So please feel free to use that if you need to check your particular organization out.
I can put that in there again too.
Excellent. Julie and then Nadir.
Hi, so I have a question. I'm currently a student and a grad student and will be in school until December 2026. Does it make sense to become a Savi member while I'm still in school and have loans? Like if I need some kind of advice, for instance, I have a Grad Plus loan, but it will be going away. It won't be available for my last 2 quarters when I'm in school. Or is Savi just strictly for people that are already graduated?
Well, Savi is for everybody.
Okay.
We can't submit any forms for you with regard to applying for the programs, but we can definitely sit with you and go over your student loan history and sort of help you be prepared for when that day comes and when it's time for you to gear up for your income-driven repayment plan and possibly qualify for PSLF. Definitely.
Okay. Okay, great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right, Nadir, and then I've got a question in the chat, and then we'll go to Jay.
There seems to be a few questions in the chat that suggest people think Savi might be a loan servicer. So I think explain the relationship between a loan servicer and Savi. That would be great. Thank you.
So a loan servicer holds your loans. It's just like if you took out a loan from Wells Fargo, that's your loan servicer. Or in this case, from Mohila, that's your student loan servicer. You make your payments to them. If you need to request a forbearance, need a break from payments, you handle that all through your loan servicer. Savi is a support system, and we're not associated with them. We don't get any sort of kickbacks or benefits, or we don't have a relationship with them. We are completely sovereign, separate entity, and offer you, we're on your side. We're here for you.
Thanks for that, Khadijah. I think that's
You're
helpful.
welcome.
One of the questions in the chat is, does Savi offer services in Spanish if folks need that support?
Yes.
How would somebody go about accessing that?
Yes. Okay. So you can click the contact support button from any page of the Savi website. There, you can email us, and we have a live chat, and you can just request, hey, I'd like someone who speaks Spanish. And we do have a couple of Spanish speaking staff members that can help you.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for that. Jay, and then Taquasha, and then maybe we'll go on with the presentation.
Yeah, hello. I'm sorry that I'm real kind of disappointed that I missed the first half of this. But I had a couple of questions. I'm already I run a recovery community organization, which is a nonprofit of 501c3. I'm already signed up for is that the PLFS or something like that?
PSL, yeah, Public Service
Yep,
Loan Forgiveness.
yep,
Yes.
yep. I'm signed up for that, right? But I think I had an issue. They said like the income-driven repayment plan or something like that.
Mhm.
So they put me down for like I don't know, because I got a couple of loans. I just graduated from school in December, but they put me down for like $1,000 a month or something like that.
Okay.
So I just wanted to know, like, how do I go about doing that, or can I talk to Savvy about that, or
You can definitely talk to us about that, so we can sit
Mhm.
down and look at your student loan history and serve you at a much higher level. I will tell you off the top of my head that we do see loan servicers miscalculate people's monthly payments all the time. That's not an uncommon thing that happens. It just may be a case where we just have to resubmit your IDR application.
Okay. I think I resubmitted it, but I don't think they got. I didn't hear anything of them getting back to me yet, and I also haven't looked.
Okay.
But I tried to
Yes.
resubmit it. Yeah, but
When did you try resubmitting it?
when I found out how much it was like a couple of months ago, because I just wanted to get
Okay.
ready because I graduated school in December,
Mm-hmm.
and I think I might still have some time like to go. But
Okay.
it was I made like a couple of payments, but I think it went back into forbearance or something like that. I don't know what happened, but
Okay.
yeah,
Well, we
something.
definitely
Yeah.
love to help you. It sounds like there's a lot going on there, and I don't want to tell you the wrong thing because I don't
Yes,
have
ma'am.
your records in front of me.
Okay.
But yeah, the loan servicers sometimes miscalculate monthly payments. I'd love to be able to take a look at your data file, your student loan data file, and try
Mhm.
to see what's going on, so we can speak to it at a much more granular level.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. I appreciate
Yeah,
it.
for sure. You're so welcome. Thank you for your question.
Yeah, a couple of affirmations of that in the chat, and I know that was the same with me, Jay. They were asking me to pay $1,800, and you just laugh at them like more than your rent payment is. Taquasha, and then we'll
Yeah.
go on with the presentation for now.
Okay,
Oh,
thank you. Good
excuse me.
evening.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't address part of the gentleman's question that just logged off, but just really quickly. Oh shoot, it's gone. Never mind. It's gone. It just left my head. I'm sorry about that.
That's all right. If it pops back, feel free to
Okay.
bring it up. And who knows, it might come up in another question.
Sorry about that. No, I'm sorry to cause you off to Taquasha. Go ahead.
No problem at all. I'm very excited to be here, so thank you for this opportunity. So I'm in delinquent. I'm getting emails for real. So
Mm-hmm.
I was in deference that but they took that away. So
Okay.
I want to do the $50 plan. I'm real needy in this capacity right now. I do work for a non-for-profit. I should have been, shoulda, coulda, woulda, but I've been there for almost 7 years and I could have been in a different place. But
Yeah.
needless to say, I'm still at the non-for-profit. It's a 501c3. And so, what plan would be best, to kind of get me going? And because like now I was trying to log in, they can't find me. I'm like, okay, it's just a
Okay.
lot of moving parts. So I just need
I
to know what's
understand.
be the best plan and how I need to talk to somebody and get something going ASAP.
Okay. So, Taquasha, are you delinquent or in default?
Oh, sorry, I'm muted. I'm looking
okay.
at my emails and it says delinquent. It's
Okay.
let
All
me see
right.
if I'm right. Yeah.
Well,
Let me
that's
see.
okay. You don't have to say too much about that right now. But what I will say,
Delinquent. Yes,
delinquent.
I'm
Okay.
delinquent.
Have you ever done loan rehab before?
No. What's
Okay.
loan rehab?
It's a program where you pay a fraction of the monthly payments you were paying before for a certain amount of time, and you have to agree to that. And I forget the amount of payments that you have to pay, but once you pay for that agreed upon amount for a certain amount of time, you can get your loans out of. Can't remember if it's delinquency or default, but this is one of those cases, Taquasha, where I would encourage you to reach out to us so we can sit with you and go over everything. Again, I don't want to give you too much granular advice on here because I don't have everything in front of me because once someone looks at it, it may not be as dire as it seems. So I want to be able to look at that and sit with you and tell you exactly what you should do step by step because I don't want to give you this these broad terms and just have you run with that. So I really want to serve you at a higher level. So please sign up and then reach out to us and we'll get you started.
So would a $50 one be the one
Yes,
I
that's
can?
the
Okay.
essential. That's where you get the one-on-one support.
Okay. Thank
Yes,
you.
ma'am. You're so welcome.
All right, lots of great questions. And I think this is reiterating how complex the student loan navigation is. And so we really appreciate you walking us through this, Khadija. I know you've got, I think, some more slides. So let's go ahead and continue on.
All right. Thank you so much. Okay. So, as you've seen with these programs, there are quite a few options available and there's a lot to take in. This can be overwhelming for borrowers, leaving you lost and wondering what your options are and what the best option is. But this is exactly why Savi started and why we're here to help. All right. So, here at Savvy, we'll make your best path clear for you. You don't have to worry about knowing the ins and outs of these programs and figuring out what the requirements are, weighing all the options, calculating the numbers. None of that you have to do anymore. Savvy is going to do all of that for you to make enrolling as easy as possible. Your Savvy account will show you personalized repayment and forgiveness options so that you can compare things like what your monthly payment would be, your timeline towards forgiveness, and how much forgiveness you can get. You'll also be able to see things like program updates and policy changes. So we'll send out notifications and update you anytime changes are made that could benefit you and help give you more savings. Each year, when it's time to reapply for these programs, Savvy will notify you. So with those income-driven repayment plans, remember you have to update your income once a year. For PSLF, we also recommend updating your employment once a year so that you can get credit for all of that time and stay on track for forgiveness. Savvy reminds you when it's time to turn in those forms so that you never miss any deadlines. Another great benefit of Savvy is that you don't have to worry about having to send a fax to your student loan agent. You can sign in to your Savvy account and submit all necessary paperwork from your Savvy account. No more printing out forms, figuring out who to fax them to, or how to send a fax. Savvy is going to do all that for you to make enrolling as easy as possible. And you can get access to personalized support from our student loan experts. So when you're using Savvy, if you need to know your situation and you want to talk about your options or need a little more help, you'll talk to one of our student loan experts and get one-on-one personalized help with your situation. Anytime you have questions, feel free to reach out to us. Now, Savvy simplifies and digitizes the eligibility and application process for federal forgiveness programs. Savvy users can reduce their student loan payment by an average of $150 a month and receive average forgiveness of $20,500. You can complete one application to see personalized options for all the programs we'll cover. So when you're using Savvy, there are 3 simple steps to doing so. Step 1, you're going to start an application with us and provide us with some general information so we can run the numbers and see what's available for you. On step 2, we're going to lay it out and show you all of those different repayment and forgiveness plans that are available. Remember, the results you see are tailored to your unique situation. So the numbers you see are exactly what's available based on where you are. If you can compare all options, find the best one and proceed to start an application. In step 3, we'll then submit the applications to enroll you in your selected plan and lock in those savings. Once you have access to your Savvy account, this is what your main dashboard is going to look like. It's the hub for everything that you're working on with Savvy. It shows you any action items that are needed from you and gives you an overview of all of your applications. So when you're applying for an income-driven repayment plan, this says 2022, but when you sign in, it's going to say general information 2025. When you click continue, it's going to take you through those next steps, and that's how you fill out your income-driven repayment plan application. If you're pursuing PSLF for the first time, you'll click Get Started under Employer Certified Forgiveness, which will help you proceed to creating your employment certification / PSLF application. On this section, you'll disclose your family size and income information that'll help us calculate your repayment plan and forgiveness estimates as precisely as possible. When you apply for PSLF, you'll be prompted in the employment section of your application to add your employer. Just click the Add Employer blue button and enter their information. Always be sure to select the Verified option, which will have a blue check mark. Here is where you'll link up your student loans. This doesn't affect your loans in any way. It's just a means for you to be able to keep track of everything in one place. You won't make your payments on your Savvy dashboard. It's just a one-stop shop for you to view all of your top-line loan information. Now, keep in mind, I know this is a lot of information, but with the live chat feature and the email feature, if you have questions about any of these steps, especially with live chat, that people find that helpful when they're navigating the website for the first time. So you don't have to memorize any of this stuff. Next, we're going to automatically recommend the plan that saves you the most and gets you the most forgiveness. But if you want to see everything that's available, that's there for you to explore as well. You'll be able to see those specific details like what your monthly payment amount is, your forgiveness timeline, and your forgiveness amount. Once you check everything out and you're ready to enroll, you can click the blue Continue button for your selected plan and proceed to creating your paperwork. On this screen, you'll select your Savvy plan. Typically, our most popular plan is our Essential plan, which is $50 a year for NASW. By enrolling in this Essential membership, you'll unlock more of those Savvy features like letting us create and submit your applications. We'll also monitor everything moving forward to keep you on track, and you'll get access to all our Savvy services. To enroll, you'll just need to verify your NASW email. We recommend signing up with that email to make that process a little bit easier. Now, the number one reason applications are denied is because they are filled out incorrectly. But with Savvy, we pre-fill these forms to ensure they are completed correctly and have the best chances of being accepted. Once you initiate the creation of those applications, like I showed you earlier under general information and the employer certified forgiveness, you can track their statuses on your Savvy dashboard. You can see exactly what step of the process each form is on and if there's any action needed to be taken. If you're applying for an income-driven plan, you'll be able to check the information needed from you to get those forms to 100%. If you ever have questions, we're always here to help you. You can click Contact Support from any page of the Savvy website to access resources. We have our Help Center, which includes articles on common student loan topics, frequently asked questions, and videos walking you through our website. After enrolling in the Essential membership, you can talk to our support team. So there are a couple of different ways to get in contact with us. Like I said, you can email us, and we have that live chat feature. To access those resources, just click the Contact Support button from any page of our website. For those of you who joined a little later, here's that QR code for you again. If you want to scan that with your phone camera, if you just hold up your phone camera to the QR code, that custom link is just going to automatically pop up. And if it happens to not work for you, that link is going to be nasw.bysavvy.com. And I'm going to put that in the chat as well. Now, I know I ran through all of this information pretty quickly, but I'll wrap up by leaving you with some next steps. Be sure that you have access to your Savvy account either by signing up now or checking your email and activating your account. Be sure to complete your applications to see what options are available for you. And if you have questions or you need more help, use your Essential membership and reach out to our support team for more. And that is everything I have for you tonight.
Awesome. This was so helpful, Khadijah. A few questions as we kind of go into the end of our time together. First from Danielle, I see in the chat. So Danielle, please come up on mute if it's different than what's in the chat. When you're inputting your your income, is it joint income net or gross?
It's going to be net, I believe. It's going to be your AGI. So that AGI number that's on your 1040, that's what you'll put in.
Danielle, was there anything else related to that?
Yeah, I just had a question, because I'm still in school, but graduate this next year. What would be the best essential, the $50 a year, or pro, or the free? I don't like, I'm still in school and I plan on doing my master's after that, so I will graduate 2027 with the master's.
Okay. Well, you can start off with DIY if you like. That's free if you want to just go in there and play around and see what your options are. But the Essential membership is the tier where you start getting one-on-one support. And since graduation is so far off, you may want to switch over to that or upgrade to that when you're getting closer to your loans being put in repayment status. So we can help you get started with qualifying for those federal forgiveness programs.
Excellent, thank you. And one more question in the chat, and then I'll go to Michael and then Emily online. Question from Sarah. My federal student loan account and student loan borrower account both say I'm on IDR. Is that separate from the pay account?
Okay, what they're saying is that you are, now did you say IDR? D as in Daniel?
D, yes, and dog.
Okay, so that is an umbrella term for all income-driven repayment plans. So you're either on the pay plan, the save plan, or the ICR plan. To find out which one you're on, oh gosh, I don't remember how you get there, but I know you can find out. You can definitely find out on your Savvy account, but there is a way to look that up on studentaid.gov. I just don't have the user flow top of mind right now on how you do that, but I know there's a way to do that. I know when I sign in on the website and I go to my aid, I think it's under my aid, and it'll say which IDR you're on.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay, Michael and then Emily.
Thank you so much for your time today. Question on, could you explain the difference of, I hear you saying support, one-on-one support between the Essential and the Pro or Premium version. I'm really curious if that support in the Essential plan is talking with a human or if it's based on an email. And then how does that work? Is it a call between the hours of 8 and 8:30 or
9 to 5, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern. That's for both email and chat. And humans do answer those emails as well as chat.
But there's not a phone line. It would be a
there is
text.
A support center phone number that we have as well.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Oh, and with the pro tier, what happens under pro, you get all of the essential benefits, plus you can schedule a one-on-one phone call, with one of our customer support people.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Emily.
I'm actually really excited about the idea that Savi can help me kind of like wrap my head around the craziness that I see when I pull up my student loans. And I feel like this might have been answered, but would it make sense to kind of when you're getting into the really nitty gritty out of that 6-month period, that grace period, to enroll in pro, kind of do the majority of that work with the highest level of customer service, and then
Absolutely.
and then to kind of downgrade after the majority of that work has been done and you're just kind of in maintenance?
Absolutely. I like that. It's like having a personal trainer. Just work closely enough with them to get to your goal, and then after you've bulked and
I don't want to feel like I'm cheaping out on a service that I feel like might save my
No.
sanity.
Totally. Yes, I understand. Absolutely. It makes perfect sense to start off with the highest level of service, and then once you're ready to spread your wings and you feel like you're in a good place, you can definitely downgrade. Yes, people do
Thank
that
you
all the
very much.
time. You're so
Cool.
welcome.
Just want to make sure that wasn't a rude thing to do.
Absolutely not. No, we won't take it personally.
Thank you.
So thanks. A couple other things in the chat, and then to Kwasha again. Bunch of comments saying, I feel that all social work jobs should be seen as forgiveness eligible. NASW is continually working to get more options available for folks, but the current political environment, not surprisingly, is making that very challenging. I will say, as an employee of NASW, we're a 501c6, so we do not individually qualify as staff members, even those of us with social work degrees. So feel some of your frustration if you're in a similar boat in a non-qualifying organization. Very challenging. Question from Sophia in the chat. I'm currently in the SAVE plan forbearance until November of this year. Am I understanding the move is to sign up for pay before November?
Not necessarily. We're not advising you to sign up for one IDR plan over the other. What we do is just give you all of the facts so that you can make the most empowered decision. And what we know now is that pay is going to be gone this time next year, as well as the ICR plan. And SAVE isn't coming back either. So the income-driven repayment plan that will remain out of the ones that you're eligible to enroll in now is the IBR plan. And then there'll be the WRAP plan. And we don't have any details on what that's going to look like.
Yes, please be on the lookout, from Savi if you have an account with them, but also be checking your emails from NASW throughout the next year as the continued landscape changes for student loan debt. I'm sure, will be also advocacy opportunities to make your voice heard at the federal level. And check in with your local chapter about what might be going on in your state, in your specific state around student loan. There are some separate programs that might be implemented at the state level as federal options go away. And I know many of the state chapters of NASW are also working on paid student internships, so ways to reduce the student loan burden in general before graduation. So please follow what's going on all across the association. Taquasha.
Yes, I'm here. So I just paid, and I like Savi already. I guess my question is it gave me, all my loans is out there and what needs to be paid. So they created me a help ticket. So someone gonna contact me? That's one question. And then do I need to also, are they gonna show me how to set this up? I guess with the student with Advantage, because that's who I'm with too.
Yes, we will
Make
be
the
able to
payments.
offer you one-on-one support. And I'm not sure what help ticket it sounds like. That we'll have a ticket that will answer where somebody will contact you via email. If not, I would say just in case, click contact support and reach out, say, hey, I just started and I need help. And someone will see that and reach out to you. Because
So
I'm
will
not
I be
sure of
able
the
to?
ticket you're referring to, that the help ticket or whatever. If that's what I think it is, but I'm not sure. So just to be doubly sure that someone gets to you, click contact support and then choose email, because no one's on chat right now, and someone will reply to your email.
Okay, well, I don't see where it say contact support. It's say my profile.
Okay.
Okay, I don't know. It
Hmm.
says my profile, the help center. Is that what it is?
Help, yes.
Okay,
Help
all
center.
right. Okay, and so with this plan
Give
I
me one
have
second.
now, I just purchased. It's only I can only speak to I can't speak to someone over the phone. Is that fair to say?
We can provide you with a help center phone number, but you
Mhm.
can speak to a human via email or live chat during the live chat hours.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much.
Yes, you are so welcome.
I realized I was still muted still. Question in the chat from Marvel, and then we'll go to, I've got a couple of questions. Emily Meshkin, sorry if I pronounced your name wrong, and then back to Nadir. But for Marvel in the chat, does Savvy work for international students? And my guess would be if your loans are from a US provider.
Correct.
Excellent. Okay, thanks. Looks like a couple hands went down. Meshkin?
Yes, I have let me put my hand down. I have several loans. I actually have one from back in like 1998 from a school that closed down and ended up being kind of like a scam.
Mhm.
And I'm sure you've seen that before. And
Yes.
they were like there was like a lawsuit and all these things. Am I still required to pay that loan back?
I can't tell you yes or no because I don't know what school it was first. And second, there is a resource from FSA called Borrower
Okay.
Defense where they have a bunch of schools because like you said, I've seen this all the time. And
Mhm.
in a lot of cases, you don't necessarily have to fill out any sort of application or anything to qualify for a borrower defense discharge. They just they already have your information on record and you just have to wait for it. And some you do, but I can send you that link.
Okay. Because I just paid for the Savvy, like the $50 membership, and I've already uploaded all my loans. And my second question is that it's asking me, it says it says missing servicer on like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of these loans. So where would I find out?
There should be a pencil icon where you can add your
Right,
servicer, or yeah, if you don't know who your servicer is, you can
right.
find out who they are on studentaid.gov, or I think there's a number you can call too.
Okay, because I'm on the federal student loan aid website as well. Will it show it on there?
Yes.
Oh, okay. It just didn't, when I uploaded everything, or like it did the automatic upload, it didn't transfer over. So I just have to go in and manually and then do it.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, bummer. Okay.
You could
Thank you.
also call the Federal Student Aid Information Center to find out, and I will put that in the chat for everyone if you can't find it.
Nadir.
And just for you to have.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I think you answered. There's two groups of questions I thought were worth answering on record. One of them is, how would a family member use this benefit?
Yes, you can invite friends and family from your Savvy account, and they can start off at DIY and if you are a Savvy Essential member, you can definitely reach out to us to get advice on your family members' loans if they don't want to do Essential just yet, and they can benefit from your membership.
And then I know you answered this, but I'm still going to ask because I think I saw it come up after I thought you answered it. If you're currently a student and about to graduate, or you have a couple semesters, what are the things you recommend folks do right now?
Wait until you're very close to graduating, not graduating, but being in there's a, what did I say it was?
After
There's
the grace period?
yeah, after the grace period. Thank you. So your loans are going to be put in a grace period for 6 months. So when you're close to the end of that 6 months, that would be an ideal time to reach out to us so that we can help you and get you started with qualifying for forgiveness programs and income-driven repayment plans.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Great questions, everyone. I know this is a complicated and sometimes very individual discussion to have. So I appreciate folks' willingness to kind of share too. Any other questions from folks? I don't see any other burning ones in the chat and no hands raised. Anyone else have anything that they want to make sure we chat about before we wrap up for today? So Chelsea's question, interest does not accrue during the grace period. Correct. Yes, does not. Lots of props to you, Khadijah, in the chat. Thank you so much for this great information. From our partners at NASW, I want to thank you for this work. We, as a social work profession, I know several of my colleagues here in Michigan who have saved upwards of $90,000 by partnering with Savi and having the assistance that you all provide. So thank you from them to you all. This is such a good tool. And please make sure, everybody, to keep in the loop of information about what's happening over probably the next year or two, because we're seeing lots of changes to this landscape, as Khadijah mentioned, and we'll probably see some stuff still continue to unfold. So even things that we said today very well could be different a year from now. So thank you for being here. Khadijah, thank you. Any last words for the group?
No, it was a pleasure being here with you, and I really do appreciate your time.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good rest of your day.
Good night.
And hope to see you at our September program.